What's going on, YouTube? What's going on with it, man? It's your boy Rebuke coming back at you live in the flesh on this lovely Monday afternoon. But the story I have isn't too lovely at all. And man, the Most High have his own chosen children, and so do the devil. And I don't think it's hard to identify who the children of the devil is. You know what I mean? Maybe not all of them, but probably a lot of them. Let's get into this. Courtesy of Atlanta Black Star. Show me your ID. White Seattle man shoots black disabled veteran in the chest in broad daylight after demanding he show him proof of his service. Shout out to Daniel for bringing us this story. A Navy veteran who plays music near Seattle's waterfront says he's just thankful to be alive after being shot in broad daylight during a confrontation that prosecutors are calling both senseless and deliberate. Harold Powell Sr.'s family believes the attack was a hate crime and his attacker is white, which we know it ain't no such thing as white people because they're not white. White is the back of this screen right here, right? Harold Powell Sr. family, I said that, my bad. More shocked, I think, than anything else. I just got hit really hard right there in the chest where he hit me real close, said Harold Powell, describing the moment he was shot on July 31st outside the Starbucks at Pier 55. And so right here, as you see, this is the devil that shot him right there on the left-hand side of your screen, pointing the gun in that maroonish shirt. He's got a gun pointed at this disabled brother in a wheelchair, right? Okay? So that's what it is. And some video down here, we're going to watch it so it's fair use for educational purposes only. The 68-year-old who uses a wheelchair was hospitalized with a gunshot wound to the chest, but was released days later. I seen the slug. I could see the heat of the slug coming at me and then just boom, knocked me back, he recounted to local station KIRO. I just went to I'm gonna die, so let me call my family, forget everything else. It's just all I thought. I wasn't worried about nothing else. The bullet cracked his ribs but miraculously missed his vital organs. Doctors didn't believe it. After all these x-rays that I can live after being shot like that, he said. Thank the Most High you survived, brother. And we pray that you get justice. Powell's naval career ended after he was struck by a drunk driver in 1991. Since 1995, he's been a fixture along Seattle's waterfront, performing music for donations. I know people down there. They know me. We're kind of a family. There is a family. They expect to see me. I see them, he said. That sense of community was shattered when prosecutor says 32-year-old devil Gregory William Timm confronted Powell over accusations of stolen valor. All right, so let's try to roll that clip for educational purposes only.
Show me your ID. Pull a fucking gun on me. Show me your ID. Pull a fucking gun on me. Pull a fucking gun on me. Put it away. All right, everybody. I apologize.
And now, you hear what the devil said? He said he pulled a gun on me. I don't know. We haven't read that in the story yet, but I can tell you this. That's what they done to get control of this country. They brought evil and wickedness over here. They shoot people, steal their land, and amongst themselves, they say it's all right. This is a familiar pattern. And if you think I'm lying, just look at the history of how this country, this illegal occupation came about. Because that's exactly what it is. They're not indigenous to this land over here. We know who the indigenous people are, who was here first, and it definitely wasn't them. It was us. So, you know, when you study history, you will understand this. And all you got to do is ask your local American their history. Ask them where they from. Ask them if they're indigenous to this land over here. They'll tell you themselves they're not. So if they're not indigenous to this land over here, then how the hell could it be their country? You see, sometimes we have to open up our eyes and not be afraid to tell the truth and understand what the truth is when the Most High start showing you these things. You know, you have to absorb all this information up and you have to roll with it because the Father is opening up your eyes for a reason. You can't believe into the lie. That's what they want you to do. They want you to believe into the lie because believing into the lie means that they get to keep what they took from you. But you can't keep what the Most High is going to give back. Let's continue on right quick. Our lives were shattered. Disabled Navy veteran survived chest shooting and hate crime attack. Family lunches, GoFundMe. On the evening of July 31st, Paul was sitting in his wheelchair along the Seattle waterfront playing music as he had for nearly 3 decades when Timm walked up. According to charging documents and video reviewed by prosecutors, the encounter turned hostile almost immediately. Timm accused Paul of lying about his military service and shouted that he was guilty of stolen valor. He demanded that Paul show him military identification and at one point ripped a military patch from Paul's wheelchair, reports show. So now, do you hear this? This is what this devil did. This man is up there minding his business playing music, and this devil takes it upon himself to falsely accuse this man of stolen valor. He never met that man before a day in his life. But yet and still, that was his big bright idea to start picking on the man in the wheelchair, right? Wow, you can't even, and then rip the patch from the brother's garment. Paul tried to retrieve his ID, but tensions escalated as he also reached for a small knife from his bag for protection. He had a holstered airsoft gun, which resembled a real firearm, attached to his chair. A video of the incident shows Paul pulling it out of his bag. Okay, that's when prosecutors alleged Timm stepped back about 12 feet, pulled a .45 caliber handgun from a shoulder bag, and fired once directly into Paul's chest. So he pulled the airsoft gun out, and that caused that dude to blast him. After initially starting the altercation and accused him falsely of stolen valor when he's a Navy veteran. Startled bystanders screamed and scattered, some shielding children as Paul slumped in his chair. He then slid his pistol back into his bag, raised his hands and shouted reassurance to witnesses. "It's all right, everybody." Timm, meanwhile, continued yelling at Paul to show me your ID and accused him of pulling the gun. A Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife officer nearby heard the gunfire and rushed over, detaining Timm on the spot. Seattle police arrived moments later, recovered the handgun, and placed Timm under arrest. Timm is no stranger to politically charged violence. In 2020, he made national headlines after plowing his car into a Republican voter registration tent in Jacksonville, Florida. At the time, he told police he did not like President Trump and later testified that he believed his actions were his duty. Now King County prosecutors have charged him with first-degree assault, a Class A felony that carries the potential for life in prison. His bail has been set at $750,000. Casey McNerney, spokesperson for the King County Prosecuting Attorney's Office, said Timm cannot claim self-defense when he provoked the altercation. If you're the one who's the first aggressor who provokes an altercation, you lose the right to claim self-defense effectively under state law, McNerney told King 5. Paul's children have launched a GoFundMe to help cover the enormous cost of his recovery, describing their father as a proud black man, a disabled hero, and a survivor of both war and Semitic injustice. And there's no such thing as black man. That brother's brown. Don't believe me? Look at the video. A few days ago, our lives were shattered, the family wrote. Our dad was targeted in what we believe was a hate crime and shot in the chest in a senseless act of violence. After everything he survived, Vietnam-era submarine, injury, disability, and systemic injustice, he is now fighting for his life again in the hospital room. The road ahead is long. The family says Paul will need help with medical bills, therapy, mobility aid, and basic living expenses while he's unable to work. This isn't just about survival, it's about justice, healing, and dignity, the fundraiser reads. He has served, he has sacrificed, and now he needs his community to rally around him. All right, they didn't leave the GoFundMe, so you can probably find it. But yeah, man, we hope this devil don't make bun, man, and we hope his ass get convicted. You know what I'm saying? And then there's going to be some brothers, and I don't conduct violence, but there's going to be some brothers in the penitentiary that probably ain't going to be too happy to see you. And then, you know what I'm saying, you're going to have to deal with that situation without your gun. But YouTube, what do y'all think about this? Drop your comments down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Don't forget to click on the notification bell, and I'll see you later. Peace.